So here we are in front of the Hanse 575, our latest product. Although it's intended to be the direct successor to the Hanse 545, it represents a completely new development. The boat has got a little bigger, a little wider, and unsurprisingly a little taller. As such, the volume has increased significantly. We'll also see that in a minute in the interior shots. The length is now 16.7 meters and the width 5.2 meters. What's striking is the relative flatness of the design and the low position of the windows, ensuring that in the living area they are right where the usable space is. All in all though, it's another typical Hanse, and we have some great new features which we can shortly take a look at in more detail. So let's climb aboard now, have a walk across the deck, and I'll talk you through the new features one by one. We can then take a look below deck.
A new
feature on the boat in terms of the hull deck joint is the inclusion of a bulwark. We're looking at a height of 15 centimeters in the front section. In other words, the top rail is over 70 centimeters from the deck, so we can hold on nice and tight at a sensible height, and also have some protection against falling over the side. At the front, we again have an underdeck furling unit installed in the bow. We also have the big anchor fitting with the teak step, and at the front, the fitting for the gennaker. This is not too far away, however, and is within easy reach of someone on board. This is just the kind of combination we wanted. The anchor winch is a typical on-deck anchor winch. The anchor compartment has a chain capacity of up to 80 meters. At the front, we have two large hatches, two size 70 hatches, one for the sleeping cabin in the owner's quarters. We'll take a look at this below deck in a minute, and the front one for the skipper's cabin, either as storage space with the A1 layout or as a skipper's cabin with the A2 layout. We can use the handle to open them up and climb in, which we'll do now. Here we have the wash basin for the crew, here's the cabin, and there's a small toilet too. We can also open up the berth by unfolding this cushion. This creates a berth just like any other. As we can see here, the deck has been designed to be extremely flat. It's made of teak from the bulwark inwards. A small step here and a step there, creating a large overall surface area with the large flat hatches. Each of these hatches is rounded off at the front to create a nice look from the inside too, and let people get a really good view of the outside. This is the new design, and these are really the only sections which are still obviously made of plastic. Here we have the fully integrated rail for the self-tacking jib. The angle is just right as it swings across like this. It's nice and flat, as well as being integrated. The water runoff passes through here, so that's the self-tacking rail. The halyards all run straight into the diverting channel without touching the deck. 5 halyards on each side, all routed towards the back. The sun deck as a whole, as we can see here, covers a large area. Everything is flush with the surface, like the 6 hatches for the saloon area, with forced ventilation for 2 hatches. And these large front hatches can be opened at the front to provide ventilation, creating a pleasant airflow in the cabin when at anchor. Again, we've got these 2 levels joined with teak, pretty much creating a continuous teak surface. This is an overhanging section above the windows, which means you can even open them when it's raining. No water can get in, even when it's raining. The actual stern of the boat has a lot of new features. For one thing, of course, it's really wide for the size of the boat, giving us lots of room on deck. We'll take another look in the cockpit in a second. There's also a dinghy garage below the cockpit for a small boat. This would be suitable for a 2.85 meter long Williams tender, which would be reeled in lengthwise. Now we want to show you how this dinghy garage has been designed and how it works. We've asked the man behind the technology involved, Raul Bayorat, our head of development, to show us how it works. We can open up the cockpit floor and the stern hatch, as he's about to show us now. He starts by opening the large cockpit hatch, which is usually done hydraulically. We can now see how the dinghy is accommodated. Now we can open the stern hatch hydraulically. It has two large hydraulic props on the right and left, which are able to take the big load involved. The special design feature with this dinghy garage is the way it can be extended lower than 90 degrees into the water. So we move down to the next level. An extra step takes us through to the dinghy garage and the platform. The swimming ladder can be folded down. It's permanently attached to the stern hatch. This is the feeder, which hooks into its own attachment here. And below, flush-fitted, is the heavy-duty running gear, which we will now open up. Again, a pin is used to secure it in place. So now we're all set and can pull the dinghy backwards. The winch starts up and the boat glides backwards over the rollers almost automatically. Next, the hatch is lowered again to the required angle, and then the boat is in the water. Just like that.